Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to a very special Fan Fridays. I actually met Jacob at PAX West, and there was many tales told of Talonflame and how he was going to do that Heatmor submission because I asked for it. So we're going to see how this one ends up playing out. There's also a Marshtomp. So the Eviolite Marshtomp can be pretty ferocious. I can't wait to see how these battles end up turning out. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was waiting. Actually, I wasn't even waiting in line. I was sitting in front of a sandwich shop like, man, I could really go for a sandwich right now. And then it's like, hey, I think that's Verlis over there. And had a chat, played some Pokemon. It was pretty cool. So let's go and see how the Mega Blastoise versus Swampert, or not Swampert, man, I'm going to make that mistake like 10 times this video, versus the Marshtomp goes. Marshtomp is very tanky, and Blastoise has good damage, but it's not going to be able to just hit super, and it's just going to hit, wow, actually that was a lot more damage than I expected. But Marshtomp has the Mirror Coat, and that's going to be enough to just insta-kill the Blastoise. Huh. Is this even... Is it Focus Sash then? Like, is it just Focus Sash troll Marshtomp? Because I feel like if it had Eviolite, it shouldn't be taking that much damage. Now, Volcarona coming in with that Quiver Dance. That's where things get a little scary, but we're going to see what Marshtomp does in return. And goes for the Endeavor. Nice! Nice trade right there. The Volcarona's trying to set up. I mean, that little bit of damage could be what matters when trying to finish off the Volcarona. Especially after that Quiver Dance. Like, Volcarona gets pretty scary pretty quick when we're dealing with the Quiver Dance right there. So now it's time for the Heatmor cleanup. Is it going to happen? Are we going to get just the Heatmor shenanigans? Let's watch. Okay. I was just like, what's the opponent up to? That's going to be Z Power. Full Force Z move. Alright, Bloom Doom. Don't know why. I was just like, yeah, that looks like a Z move. It looks like a Grass Z move. Why is it going for the Grass Z move onto the Heatmor? Not gonna be enough to KO though. I guess everything else that Volcarona has is resisted. That's gonna be an Iapapa Berry with the Gluttony, and then Heatmor lands the Fire Lash, and that should be enough to deal with the Volcarona. So yeah, I guess Volcarona just has Fiery Dance, Bug Buzz, and then Giga Drain, and went for the Z Giga Drain because that's the most damage that it had at its disposal. Man, Fire type, just tanking out that Volcarona. The Cresselia comes in with that Ice Beam. Yeah, the opponent is kind of locked out right now when it comes to this Heatmor. Critical hit does like no damage, and Heatmor has the Stockpile. Heatmor's been a very interesting Pokemon to me because, yeah, it has Stockpile. It can get tanky, I guess. I guess if you Stockpile into the Confusion Berry, wow, the opponent just forfeited off there, yeah. So if you get 1 or 2 Stockpiles in that Confusion Berry, you know, you can tank a couple more hits after that and then just survive and get damage. Like, plus with Fire Lash, you know, Stockpile Fire Lash, so I might be able to trade 1 for 1 plus. We'll see what it does. Let's go check out some more battles with this Heatmor, as I forget to pause the recording. Alright, and then this time leading off with the Amoonguss. Like, it's always just nasty whenever you lead off with something that has like a counter or mirror coat option. I also forgot to do the damage calculation. I'm gonna see like if the Blastoise is that strong. Like, either I was overestimating the tankiness of that Marshtomp, or I was underestimating the damage of that Blastoise. Because like Water Pulse getting boosted, that just becomes like above average damage, you know? It's not gonna be absurd. So we'll watch this one play out. Ninetales comes in, gets that Snow Warning off. Amoonguss, it's alright. Like, you know, Amoonguss can survive some super effective hits in this. So we're going to see what happens. Actually, withdrawing on the Ninetales, doesn't want to risk that Sludge Bomb, but then goes in Tapu Koko. So I guess maybe it still wants to risk the Sludge Bomb, or at least not want to go to sleep, because Electric Surge into Spore and shenanigans. We're going to see what happens. Yeah, Amoonguss' Spore will get stopped out right there, and then Koko is going to be buffeted by the Hail. So that's just going to be the simple trade. But then Amoonguss, like, Tapu Koko still doesn't have much damage on the Amoonguss, just gets to lock out that Spore for a couple turns. So we're going to see what Amoonguss wants to do in return. It's a different kind of battle, different pace for sure. So gets the Terrain, turns out, takes that Life Orb damage, then it's just going to be like this Hail and stuff. So yeah, just go watch this one break down. But then going in Charizard, my goodness. The opponent has so many terrains and so much going on with the field right now. That Sludge Bomb coming in, critical hit. Poison. Unfortunate for the opponent, but that's what you risk when you switch in like that. So now Hail plus Poison, dropping Charizard below half. And I guess Heatmor comes in to save the day, just tank it out like that. And then Amoonguss does have the Regenerator as well. But yeah, that Charizard is now taking some substantial damage. So Charizard X actually going to be revealed, not Charizard Y, and Amoonguss is staying in. So getting the read, because you know what, Charizard comes in, I'm going to scare off this Amoonguss, I'm going to get a free Dragon Dance. or Flame Charge, but Flame Charge is not high amounts of damage. Like, Amoonguss tanks super effective hits. Yeah. Even with Tough Claws boosting, not going to be enough base power. Charizard's speed goes up. Amoonguss is going to stall it with the Synthesis. So, like, just... I'm kind of blown away by this level of play right now. Because, you know, just kind of not even caring. You know, just, okay, maybe Charizard's going to hit, therefore I should Synthesis right now. Unfortunately, it's not Charizard Y, so Synthesis is getting reduced healing because Hail does that. But now Poison plus Hail means that, you know, whatever Charizard does, it's dead to Poison. So now we're going to see Charizard going for another Flame Charge. Does Amoonguss have enough to clutch a survival? No, super effective will be enough to take it down. Charizard's gaining all this speed, trying to do what it can, but I don't think it's going to matter now. So yeah, that's going to be the Hail, and then Poison will finish off the Charizard. So an interesting trade right there. I was trying to go into the other mechanics before, like that Ninetales switch and then Tapu Koko and all that other stuff. I was trying to go to the mechanics. You know, you get that Marshtomp in there. You get a free KO on counter or Miracle. I used to do that with Swampert all day long, and in 3v3 on the battle spot, you can remove an opponent's threat pretty quickly, and then you're just good to go. Now Heatmor comes in, so Heatmor, this is good. This is gonna be free. Yeah, Heatmor comes in with that, like the Ninetales goes for the Aurora Veil. Heatmor comes in, so that's gonna be a free stockpile or a Fire Lash. So actually trying to get that super effective damage down onto the Ninetales. And that's going to be a defense drop. So now the damage is going to start adding up. Electricity disappears. Hail disappears as well. And Ninetales is going to turn around with the Moonblast. So Ninetales doesn't have much damage on the Heatmor. Yeah, that's nothing. I would have taken that stockpile and then see where that goes. So Heatmor special attack's going to drop, but Heatmor throwing down that Fire Lash. I mean, once you get tanky, yeah, is that crit? Or is that just the raw damage? Like, I thought that was crit because it looked like it was going down a lot faster, but no. That's just what happens when you Fire Lash, get the drop, and then hit it again. Now, also, we do have the Aurora Veil up, so that could also be a reason why the damage was looking a little funny. And then Tapu Koko is going to throw down that Thunderbolt. So how tanky is the Heatmor? Just tanky enough. Like, it can survive that Tapu Koko, and then that's going to be the Confusion Berry coming through. So, we're going to see how much damage the Fire Lash does. And then what that means, like, in the end, because that's not going to be enough to KO Tapu Koko. It doesn't really threaten it too much because of that Aurora Veil. But now Tapu Koko does have to throw out another hit. And with that other hit, it's going to be taking Life Orb damage. Heatmor does faint to that, and it looks like it's up to the Marshtomp. So, Marshtomp is in an interesting situation. Like, if it has an offensive move, you know, if it just has the Earthquake, throw it out there. I wouldn't risk, like, a Mirror Code or something, just in case the opponent goes for, like, a U-turn or something weird. U-turn Dazzling Gleam just to finish off the Marshtomp. Man, that does way too much damage. Yeah, there's no way that's Eviolite, or it's Focus Sash. So, Life Orb into the Mirror Code. Alright. See, I just wouldn't want to risk that personally, because if maybe he anticipates, you know, Mirror Code or something, because, like, why else would you have a Marshtomp? That's just my thought, because I already know. I always love the counter Mirror Code on the Marshtomp, so I'd want to play a little safer, because, like, if you go Mirror Code and U-turns, breaks your Sash, Dazzling Gleam, and that KOs, that would be terrible. So, it looks like no other offensive moves. They got, like, counter Mirror Code, question mark, and then we're good to go. So, let's go and check out the next battle submission. I kind of want to call shenanigans. Like, is this just a completely uninvested Marshtomp? Because I guess that means its only existence is to Focus Sash, Mirror Coat, counter. And I'm looking at these numbers, you know, Dazzling Gleam with a crit looks like it would do about that much. So let's pull out Dazzling Gleam crit. That would have a very high chance of dropping it down to the Focus Sash. So just uninvested, and maybe the IVs aren't right because it's a shiny, so you might as well just find a way to make that shiny work instead of having to, like, grind for that competitive shiny or something like that. That's strange, but I mean, when you look at it, Swampert, Marshtomp, those are Pokemon that have a decent hit point pool. Like, I'd imagine that you'd want to put something into the hit points, that way you can make sure you can return the most amount of damage back, but it still doubles. Like, very few things will be able to survive that much damage coming back. Very, very interesting, but like I said, making it work with what you got, that's pretty crazy. And then you trade, and then you just go into advantage, is what it looks like. Now also bring in the Talonflame. So I see a lot of 1-for-1, and then just +1 win. So let's see how this ends up working out from Pokemon Trainer Red. But I like it, like I said, I like it whenever just, alright, Redemption KO into bonus, and then GG. So what's the Hippowdon going to do? Hippowdon wants to go for setup likely, and we're going to see what Marshtomp can do to deal with this. And does Marshtomp have Stealth Rocks? Is it going to try to do something in the case of a setup? No, actually going to be a switch out into the Talonflame. That's fancy. And that's actually going to be a withdrawal from the Hippowdon into the Breloom. Breloom is not going to like that. So yeah, Talonflame. Oh, wait a second. Why is the opponent doing that? That means no Focus Sash for the Breloom. That's going to be free. And Z move. Alright, Z Talonflame. Might as well go for it. Like, yeah, Breloom is going to chunk your hit points if you just go and KO it like that. I like how the Z move Talonflame, it still works. You know, you get that Z move, you get priority, you get a lot of damage, and then you can still hold on to that priority and still wreck afterwards. So that's a pretty fancy way of Talonflame. I like that some people are still holding on to it, bringing it back, keeping it alive, whatever you want to say about the Talonflame. But unfortunately, with that Sandstorm, it will have that priority broken. So what's the response going to be? The Hippowdon comes back in. I don't see much the Hippowdon's going to do unless it does have that Stone Edge, in which case Talonflame's still going to be able to do something, or it's going to be a switch out, and then we're going back into the Marshtomp. Alright. And Hippowdon has Yawn. What happens now? It's got the Yawn. Marshtomp switching out. Doesn't want to go to sleep. Going into the Talonflame. And this is our life now. So the Hippowdon gets that Stealth Rock set up. And now that we know, it's like, you know, Talonflame could try to go for the taps. Could try to get that damage in there. Stealth Rock does hurt the Marshtomp setup. Does hurt a lot of things going on. So Talonflame just gonna go in with that Brave Bird. I'm wondering, I guess Hippowdon, Yawn, Slack Off, Stealth Rocks, you know, it's got like that soft phasing in, and then Earthquake. Can't hit it with the Earthquake, so Whirlwind, or that. So it's Whirlwind and Talonflame, take a little bit of damage off of that. And I guess once we get that Heatmor in there, you can just start chipping away at the defense of the Hippowdon, and that's going to suck. So does Marshtomp have anything up its sleeve? Anything. Stealth Rock's going to fail. Marshtomp has counter, that's going to fail. Does this Hippowdon have any damaging moves? Nope, not going to affect on the... Yeah, it's like, alright, we got Yawn, we got Whirlwind, we got Stealth Rocks. I guess Slack Off at that point. What is the opponent... Is he intentionally using Stealth Rocks to not eat the counter? I mean, does the opponent know that Marshtomp wanted to go for the counter and do some kind of damage? This is so strange. And Hippowdon does have the Earthquake. Alright. So it looks like the opponent... See, this is what I mean. This is what I was talking about with the Tapu Koko thing the last battle. Like, it might have made me sound like a noob when I said to do that. But if they read it, then that means that could have been GG right there, because Marshtomp doesn't have many other options. Unless it's just like counter Mirror Coat. That'd be hilarious. Either way, Marshtomp tries to peg a little bit of damage with that Endeavor. Hippowdon comes in with that Earthquake, and Marshtomp not able to survive it, so he couldn't counter anyways. Man, what a just weird thing that ended up happening, and then going back into Talonflame. So yeah, the Hippowdon actually does not have Sustain. Talonflame wrecks itself on that Stealth Rock, so either the opponent switches or he gives up his Hippowdon. That's going to be the Flare Blitz. So Flare Blitz on the Hippowdon. Hippowdon survives. Talonflame goes down. And yeah, like with that Stealth Rock's phasing with the Talonflame, Talonflame doesn't get to do much. Whirlwind just in case. And then the Heatmor comes in. So Heatmor, as the last Pokemon, it's safe to set up. Like, you know exactly what this Hippowdon's doing. I would get as many stockpiles as possible. You can Fire Lash whenever you need to. Well, actually, technically though, the Earthquake could be big from the Hippowdon. It depends on the team select, I guess, at that point. But we already knew about Volcarona, I guess. Or Volcarona could have been an option. So yeah, Volcarona comes in with that Quiver Dance. But since we outspeed the stockpile, question mark, see what happens. Heatmor comes in with that Fire Lash though. So now let's see what Heatmor does. Like, that hurts. How does Heatmor do that much damage? That's a question I want answered in my life, because that's a 2-shot. Even through that Giga Drain, I think that's going to be a 2-shot. Does Heatmor just work against Volcarona? That's kind of crazy to think about. So Volcarona has a Life Orb as well. After that Drain, it's going to gain so much health back because of the Berry. That Gluttony is also really good on the Heatmor. Like, Gluttony, Berry, Fire Lash, Stockpile, and they just combo people down with the coverage. Well, not coverage, but you just use that Fire typing, I guess, and you survive, and it works. And maybe that's why I thought Stockpile was like, oh, you need to get tanky before Heatmor does anything. No, you just go aggro and you win, apparently. Man, I couldn't really figure out anything about that, and that works, because, yeah, we got the... Talonflame's a bit more traditional. That Heatmor was pretty solid, but then the uninvested Marshtomp for the counters. Solid. and then Heatmor does a thing. Good job, Jacob. That was a pretty solid battle. So if you guys enjoyed this battle, or these battles, I'll see you in the next Fan Fridays.